Hey fam, it's 12:02. Of course it is. It's fucking double numbers. And I have a quick message that I want to tell you. Fuck positive and negative, and let's use attraction, or rather, movement, attraction. Oh no, it's too many connotations. Magnetic. Magnetic is what we're trying to describe. We're inside magnetic. Everything's magnetic. You know what? I'm gonna call it attraction and then move on. Why? Whatever the charge is, like the sun's charge energy and the moon's charge energy. I learned from Luna Ash, how, especially when the moon is, I mean, obviously it is, but I just didn't think of it this way. Every time it goes through the 28-day month, it, I'm just obviously receiving so much right now, just like you are. It's actually incredible. And that's me putting it like, it's like calling art anything but it's getting to the full phase, maximum phase. And I want to be looking at it when it does. And I've got to go outside to do that. And it's so good to learn how to not take time and just get it. Like the opposite of take is give. No, the opposite of take is get. And so this month, and then because of the alignment here, and this is what I kind of added with Ash. She says the same thing, but this is plus my knowledge. I just had a thought where like the little voice that says, you know, consider promoting Ash on your channel, and then the response to that is, anybody watching my video already knows Ashley. Clairvoyant. I learned about you from her. Uh, very soon, pretty much very soon, that is going to be like the population of people that really break ground on getting people together and community in this like new sense. Because like, where did your mind go when I said together, getting together? It went to where you want it to go. Because there's no necessary connotation. It means what you mean, what you hear, and then you create what you mean. And so like everybody's been working so hard. And how it's so under the radar is that nobody's talking about what they're doing. And we can be especially grateful to the people that are speaking and doing a lot of teaching and making it seem like that's all they're doing. But everybody's working so hard. Oh. I lost my train of thought because I'm not wearing my glasses and the time keeps looking at me. But I know that I'm supposed to be here right now. Typically, I've been in meditation, and I'm in meditation in and out all day. Less since the new year. For spurts of time, not less during the day. It's like instead of doing it for like 9 hours, I'm doing it for 9 hours in between moments. And this feels so good. This is what I wanted to tell you for the eclipse. So every month, the this moon gets charged, uh, and it's going to take on the same charge as, uh, you know what? The moon is the balancer. So what it is charged is the same as the sun, because it still has the earth on the other side of it, so it's always affected. So it's balanced to every 28 days, except for when shit is out of balance on the earth. And that only happens with a lot of effort, and effort and intent. You couldn't effortfully do it by accident. And you can do anything. Clearly, right? And I'm not wearing my glasses. So actually, where generally I'm just staring off at nothing, I I am staring at the moon right now. It's coming on at 12:12. Obviously, that's 12:09. So, and 6:49 was the minute second. This is the beginning of I look forward to talking to you all and teaching and learning together as personally as we have been. So I guess I'm just looking forward to life and growing and bonding, even if that looks like separation, because we ain't got nothing but time. And time is all there is. In this form, in this game. And everything is connected. It's just, it depends if you can see the connections. And like you're perfectly suited. Like you couldn't be in a more perfect body. Like potential to tap into your not superhumanness, your trueness. It takes a lot of work to keep you down. And if it ever took a lot of work to keep us down, that only means that eventually we'll be free. Because hard only stays hard. Like it if it was going to be forever, we wouldn't notice it. Or we would, and we'd choose it. Which means in some way we've chosen this. And if you can imagine that you're secretly an infinite being that really feels like the same as their creator, and but also its child and brother and sister on every dot of the spectrum. And what I mean by that, like, is like it's you can like, what if you could feel that connectedness? Like I know what it feels like to be. It'll say 12, so 12 dimensions, and like peer off into some unknown. I know what it feels like to be 7, 6, 8, and maybe get to spelunk around. If you're watching this and you don't know, like your gifts are away from visual. First of all, I'll tell you, uh, I was that way. And compared to all that I've learned, to see, or all that I've learned and how, in learning how to see, I was blind, super blind. But the blind learn how to see, right? It takes a lot of work to keep people down. The blind truly, and everyone knows, like, life's a gift and you challenge but the blind, I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, actually, that's what I think their ancient histories or myths or legends, one way or another, do reference blindness, but only with the old, and I imagine your sight, our sight. I threw the hour in for just in case you thought I just meant you were, and not you. So I'm imagining somebody watching this video at a future time, but only because, like, maybe lots of somebodies have found their way, even if it was just part of a small community. Just someone random is what I'm saying. And you're like seeing dimensions. Dude, you're not even talking straight. But that's the thing. I almost can't help myself. I think suffering sucks. But I think suffering is not a fucking problem. Like, that's solvable. That isn't solvable. It is solvable, which means it's enforced. And I'll tell you how to solve it's really simple. You define suffering in a way that makes sense, first of all. And last, that's actually the answer. But how I would do this in this instance, now I've gotten distracted by meditating for a moment. So let's go back to remembering. There is no remembering. It's more like recall, maybe. So what I was referencing before was the feeling blind, and blind being quite a gift. And I mean, we all have gifts, but I couldn't see compared to what's possible now, and what's possible for you too. And I know how you learn. I know how you actually maybe understand me and get me, which means we'll get each other. And that's to make it hard for you. It's called cognitive strain. But those words, that's just spell magic. And they're formed to make a good thing hard to do. Cognitive ease. Cognitive ease, even that is given a bullshit name to take away your power. Cognitive ease is when you're so tapped into your intuition that you can act quickly when I should probably just open my eyes. Maybe just one. And you know what? I can't. It's interesting, because I don't have a particular strategy that I'm going for as far as how I'm going to teach. I just kind of like do it. I just like, who am I talking to? This is anyone. Oh, hi. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna maybe try and find the chat before I risk exiting by accident, like person. But I don't know when you jumped in, but I'm gonna continue. I love you. Cognitive ease is when something is easy, so you don't have to think about it, and you can get really good at it. And what that really means is, like, you know what you know within at such a core. Like, if you just strip the systems down to the new basic, and then you dig to like this, like you telling me I can use my hands as a shovel, and you go to this new place. You're gonna like slap me outside my head. Okay, now we're gonna stop. This is me doing it a little on purpose. So I don't do it on purpose. What I do on purpose is just try to be clear, because I hate fucking liars, and I don't lie. I can probably count the amount of times I've lied over the last few years. Literally, like, when I say few, I always mean 3 or 4. But I don't remember them because fuck, like I don't care, because there was like with my partner, and it's like, oh, I'm telling work I'm sick, but I'm not sick. And then telling your friend, her friend, the same story that's not as connected, but now I gotta, but you know, and then she's, I don't know, that's like, and then if I'm like meeting up with them, it's like, I was sick yesterday. That's what I mean. What I'm actually meaning is like, you don't fucking learn or understand anything if you don't try to do it every single time. And so that's the way I speak to anyone, because I'd rather be clearly misunderstood than thoughtfully misunderstood as an illusion of staring at myself in the mirror of Elliot. and cognitive strain is what they call priming the process of your subconscious. It's inner knowing the outer. It's inner union. The words that I would have probably even used yesterday, and which are much more familiar to describe. Well, let me try it. I'll even say twin flame union happens first on the inside. Twin flames are a thing if you make them a thing. And if you make them a thing, you're not going to be the only person making them a thing. Because there's a bunch of people making themselves things. And really, that's the only other way. That's the only way it can be, because you couldn't fake get yourself into a community that doesn't fake anything. And I don't know, I was hanging out with you at the table, like, this is me, this is me breaking and listening to you. That's the most irritating part about doing these videos, which is why I want to do it with somebody. But only, like, I'm just going to say that generally. Oh, remember I made this thing for a point? I hope you've been enjoying it, at least everyone that is not seeing it. With the moon and the sun. Like, okay, so I've taken medicinal marijuana oil. It's not medicinal, but it's illegal. It's legal. See how it's legal and it's illegal can sound the fucking same? That's the stupid magic. But the great thing is also, it's like I'm listening to everyone that ever, and I don't know what time is it. It just looks like, to my unglassed eyes, something beautiful. Oh, don't go away. So the blood moon, especially, why it's such an awesome opportunity and why it's awesome tonight, because it's a supermoon. Supermoon just means it's at one of the points during the year / during the whatever that you're measuring, that's closest to the Earth, so it appears bigger. And this doofus, I read, not read, that's super generous. I just saw the words I needed to see, and this stood out to me. Because people are so silly, but they're not. I totally understand that size of things and where we are can be hard to see if you're not really trying to see something that you think you see, and then you're like, no, that doesn't exist. See, body. Anyways, the moon. But whatever, man. This is the only time I end up actually making videos, because love is the because for everything, which, like, for me is kicking ass and taking names. Moving right along. So the moon is physically closer. And I'm just speaking in, like, common terms because I don't know who's like the totality. Oh, I think I almost found you, so I can say hi. Hi, love and elevation. Oh, thank you for the flowers. And you have beautiful wings. Closest, cognitive strain forces new connections. Because when it's hard, you really form the things that you form what stands out. Ultimately, which it becomes more and more conscious. And there is a great extent to what you can become aware of consciously. And that can possibly be stopped without a lot of effort. And the great thing about that is that because it's hard, it means eventually they won't be able to keep up. And I imagine that the threshold for that in time, through time, can be experienced as happening all of a sudden, like. But some strategies you like, how does the jungle cat hunt? Not like the elephant. No, the elephant would be gangster. He's like slow, like slow steps. Sneak up on you because he's slow. Isn't that a joke? The thing about they slow, not slow but quiet. Anyways, that'd be so hilarious. But I imagined like the katana and the like. Yeah, it's actually a blackie because he's trying to. He's an assassin elephant. I am kind of doing it now, curiously, the cognitive strain thing, because it's more fun. And that's how I'm going to talk. Right? Like, if the best way to, for people to really understand what they mean with each other, they have to check. But check isn't a body check. It's not a paycheck. It's not check this or you're fired, or a check mark, good boy, good girl, you know, good grades, check, wife, check, divorce, check, whatever you want to check. All that fucking you we could examine infinitely what one another means, except there would be times, plateaus, where it's damn good, whatever it is, the strategy for whatever we're looking at. And this has been complex, but deception in like a past the limit, not cool, don't mind destroying you kind of way. You know what I mean? Like everything gets taken care of. Everything gets taken care of in the end or the beginning or whatever. So like it's all good. There's like safety in existence, and it can be known because we're not going to stop until we figure it out. And like I don't know, I haven't been alive that long. A few decades. But I figured out a lot in that little time. Like a lot, a lot. And if I just set it all on YouTube, the same listeners that are going to listen to me anyways are going to, first of all, like not really the need to hear, unless, except for that I do what I do, and everyone is where we need to be. But it's not like people not people thinking they understand because I'm speaking clearly, and I've written them notes, and Now, I'm curious as a little thought experiment. My saying that way, how did that make you feel? And then could I have meant the opposite thing if nothing else changed and you considered it? And in my short, long life, we're all babes, man, we're babes. Sorta. In our men and women in black suits. But I don't know you. And this is on YouTube, so I mean ever, in a way that I'm talking to all the denominations, denominators. 11%. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. Actually. And it's a strong strategy to almost pulse, establishing kind of frequency by consciously taking things up a notch or switching it up, but in like a harmonic way where you're not doing too little or too much. And we're all kind of like that, but that's when like these really, that was one of like the big fuck up things that we personally think about ourselves. We need to heal them, and the lies that we can't, and that we're all that way, and that's the only way it is. And if you're still with me by now, because I do want to go see it, and I'm gonna run out of battery, and is the sun charges the moon a certain way. The moon charges in turn the earth a certain way, and it's essentially balances out. What that means, and like let's just say a light polluted earth that's out of whack with the rest of the universe by virtue of its direct connection to its solar system, we'll call it, or galaxy, or whatever scale you want to go on. If it's out of balance, then the moon, which is going to communicate with all the other satellites and and ships and life that it's connected to, gets hit by the rest of its orbit, which is mostly the sun, but also Venus and Mars, and really all the planets. Anyways, but it's the main speed. It's like it's the fucking moon. And in relation to the sun's gonna fucking the sun's gonna be a strong fucking charge, whatever it is, because it's the fucking sun. And the only way for it to change would it for it to be exposed to so much of the thing that is attracted to it. So it's just gender. Everything's gender. It can be looked that way, and it takes you fucking everywhere. It takes you to unity. Uh, is that say during a blood moon wolf super eclipse, and the Earth has been bombarded by, let's say, feminine uh, energy. Male energy. That would mean that the Earth in balance would be feminine. Male, and then the if the feminine or negative negation, I don't know, whatever you want to. That I'm really divided on which is supposed to be positive and negative, but that's the point. Uh, we've been it's a lot, it's taken a lot to do what they've done to us, and they is whoever gets in the way of love. The earth and the sun have been uh, really balancing each other out, and the moon, it was like, imagine soaked in something that can be magnetically uh, predisposed. And so it's so, because we're pumping way too much, or taking up one. So anyways, it's just that's the status quo. And in the last few little while, it's been balancing out because of all the energy everywhere. And then imagine now tonight, uh, this moon that's basically a full moon every night, because its aura is bigger than the eclipse, the penumbra, right, like it's